If you don't have a passport, you'll need a California Real ID for domestic flights starting May 7th. That is so soon. That's the date the federal government will start enforcing the new security mandate at airports. TSA told us that those who don't have the required identification can expect delays, additional screening, and the risk of being turned away from security. Who wants that? Steve Gordon is the director of the California DMV. He's here with what you need to know to avoid potential delays before your next trip. Steve, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, so this Real ID provides stricter standards for driver's license and identification cards. Talk about the security enhancements for traveling, which we want to understand why we're going through all of this in the first place.
Yeah, so this started out of 9/11. The Real ID Act was enacted by Congress in 2005, and it actually promoted making sure that we sort of re-credential everyone in the U.S. that wants to access federal facilities or fly on a plane. And in most places, like average citizens are going to be going through the airport. That's where they're going to encounter this particular need for this credential. So we've gone through and re-credentialed a whole bunch of folks. That means you have to come in with a passport or an original birth certificate or one of the other federal docs that are required. You have to come in and demonstrate 2 residency documents that match your name and your residency. And you have to give us a social security card. And you don't have to bring the card. You have to have the number. And we will go through and process all of those things, and we'll get you a new credential. We'll also snap a new photograph as well.
Okay, you gave us the documents that we need to get this Real ID. Can you do all of this online?
You can start almost, first of all, you can do almost all of it online,
Okay.
but we still are required for a tactile review. It's part of TSA's rules. We have to feel the documents, make sure they're authentic, but you start at realid.dmv.ca.gov. You can upload your documents. We'll give you a little check mark next to them. If they appear to be valid, we'll do a review, and we'll schedule in for an appointment into one of our offices.
Okay, we're clear all adults need this. What about children under the age of 18? Do they need a Real ID as well?
They do not, but most parents get their children. I mean, whether they're first-time drivers or even younger, they get an ID card. Most parents get them Real IDs today, and why not? When you're getting their credential, may as well get a Real ID. But it's not required, and you can go to TSA.gov, and they'll talk about the requirements for people that are not yet adults.
Okay, and what if you do just still have a standard driver's license? Is it valid?
It's still valid, right? So this May 7th deadline is really for people that are going through TSA, and even as you mentioned in the opening, it doesn't say you can't get through. It just says that you may have to go through extra steps to review. So what we're asking people is that, look, if you have a passport or you have a permanent residence card or whatever it might be, use those cards and then come in on your next renewal, because the airports will accept those just fine. No need rushing in today. But when you're on your next renewal cycle, come in and get a Real ID then. So
okay.
You can still get through security with your existing credential, but especially if you have a passport or if you have a permanent residence card or some other card that the federal government will accept, use that until your next renewal.
Okay, that makes sense. We do know that some local DMVs, though, are opening early to help people get a Real ID. So how long does it typically take to receive it once you turn in that application?
Right. So once you get the application and into the office, it's about a 10-minute visit in the office, start to finish. Sometimes the lines are a little longer today. People are rushing to get in. And it's about 10 days for us to manufacture the card and mail it to your house. Very typical manufacturing process.
All right. Very helpful. And that deadline coming soon. So, Steve, we appreciate all of this. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
All right, let's go over to Marina Jurka now.